In this video, we're going to go over the pros and the cons of living in Salt Lake City, Utah. If you're thinking about moving or relocating to Salt Lake City, Utah, we help a ton of people from all around the world and all around the country relocate to Salt Lake City, Utah. We love to help you make your move seamless. And if you're either purchasing a new home or you are looking for a rental, whatever your case is, feel free to check out the description and you can feel free to reach out. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're thinking about moving here or you're just interested in knowing what it's like to live here in Salt Lake City. If you hit that subscribe button, you'll be able to follow along with the new videos that we put out every single week so you know exactly what it's like to live in Salt Lake City, Utah. All right, so pro number one of living in Salt Lake City, Utah is definitely the outdoor sports that are available to you. The amount of outdoor sports that you're able to do year round is just amazing. You're gonna have endless activities to be able to do. So if you're wanting to go on a hike, I highly suggest you check out Lake Blanche. It's a really great hike in the Salt Lake City area. It is a harder hike. I did this hike a few years ago, and so be prepared. It definitely is a harder hike, but I highly suggest it. It has some amazing views. When you get to the top of the mountain, you're able to get to Lake Blanche and check out Lake Blanche, which is beautiful. And when I went there, actually, we ended up staying and camping overnight, and we were able to get a picture of the sunset, and it's just absolutely beautiful, which I'm going to include right here for you to check out. So feel free to check out Lake Blanche if you're wanting to go on a hikes. I also suggest Bonneville Shoreline Trail, which is in the Salt Lake City area, if you're wanting to go on more of a moderate hike or a hike that isn't going to be as intense as Lake Blanche. Another outdoor activity that you can do in the Salt Lake City area is snowboarding and skiing. Snowboarding and skiing, there's tons of resorts throughout all of Utah, but in Salt Lake City, you can feel free to check out, Brighton Resort, Solitude. They're pretty close to Salt Lake City, and you don't have to take much of a drive to be able to go snowboarding and skiing, which is always a great time. Another outdoor activity is mountain biking. Mountain biking, there's tons of trails on the mountainside, also at Solitude, just tons of mountain biking everywhere, all around Salt Lake City on the mountains. Another outdoor activity that you can do if you're more wanting to go more toward the water sports and when the weather starts to heat up is maybe you want to go over to Jordan L, which is super close to Salt Lake City. You can go to Jordan L and you can go there and you can go wakeboarding, you can go wake surfing, you can go paddleboarding, kayaking, whatever you want to do. You can go and sit on the shore and enjoy the water and just being by the shore and the lake. Jordan L is perfect for that, and you're just right in that location. On top of that, if you like to go camping, there are beautiful campgrounds all really, really close to the Salt Lake City area. Big Cottonwood Canyon, they're beautiful campgrounds for you and your family to go and check out. So the amount of outdoor sports that you're able to do is just, it's never ending. There are so many outdoor sports that you can do, and you're so close to these sports because the mountains are just right there when you live in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that is definitely a pro of living in Salt Lake City, Utah. All right, so for con number one of living in Salt Lake City, Utah is air quality. So the air quality is not always the best. So the reason for this is the Salt Lake City area is surrounded by mountains. And there's a lot of people that live in this area, and there's not a lot of wind that comes up to be able to help blow out the wind. So we get air trapped and pollution trapped because of this. It's really great that there's not wind during the summers because wind can be really annoying sometimes. But it's also helpful, right? So during the winter is usually when we get the worst air pollution and when we get what's called an inversion. So here's some pictures of the inversion. So usually it takes like a snowstorm or a rainstorm for the air to start looking normal again and looking better again. But yeah, so air quality in the Salt Lake City, Utah area, especially during the winter time, is not the best air quality. So that is con number 1. All right, pro number 2 is definitely going to be the weather here in Salt Lake City. The reason why is we experience all 4 seasons. So we get summer, spring, winter, fall. We get all of the seasons, which is great. It's makes it so you're able to do things outdoors like we talked about in the first pro. You're able to do things outdoors all year round. The even better part about this is when you get to the winter months and you get into the cold months, it doesn't get that cold. And when you get to the warm months, the hot months, it doesn't get that hot. So for example, during the winter time, you're probably not going to see the weather go below 20 degrees. That being said, it does, but it's not going to stick below that at a constant rate, you know? So, for example, I lived in Wyoming for 2 years when I played college basketball a few years back, and it got to negative 11 degrees. It was cold, and it was constantly cold, right? Well, here in Utah, it doesn't get that cold. Like I said, it's usually going to be about 20 degrees or higher. 20, 30 degrees, 40 degrees typically is what you're going to see. It does go below that 20 though, so just be prepared. Then on the flip side, the heat. So it's not super, super hot. So it does get hot. It can get hot. Sometimes it does reach 100 degrees and 103 degrees, but you're normally in the hot months, you're probably going to be around 80 to 90 degrees, which is perfect for me, in my opinion. It's not going to be like Arizona and Nevada where you're just dying of heat and you're like, I have to escape. You're able to experience all of the weather, but they're not like super, super extremes on both ends of the spectrum. So if you are thinking about moving to the Salt Lake City area, you definitely need to make sure that your wardrobe is equipped to handle hot and cold, and also maybe think about some hiking boots, stuff that you might want to do in the outdoors if you're moving here. Just that's a tip that I would give for you. Make sure you have the correct clothing, especially depending on what month you're moving here. Another thing that I absolutely love about the weather here is when the weather is changing. One of my favorite things to do is go ride and drive up the canyon and take a Sunday drive and go and check out the leaves that are changing and the colors that are changing. Is absolutely beautiful. Make sure if you do come here and you're here during those times and the weather's changing, make sure you check out and go for a drive up the canyons, because it's just absolutely beautiful and you'll thank me later. So that is pro number 2. The weather is great here because we're able to experience all 4 seasons. It doesn't get too hot and it doesn't get too cold, and you're able to have that variety throughout the year. All right, con number 2 is going to be traffic/construction. So I'm going to just put those two together because they kind of go hand in hand. So if you're living in downtown Salt Lake, usually you will hit traffic around those rush hour times in the morning and in the evening. The main place that you're going to hit traffic though when you are in Salt Lake is a lot of people who have to commute, who don't live right in downtown Salt Lake City. So maybe they live a little north or they live a little south of Salt Lake City and they have to make a drive there. A lot of times they are working on I-15. Construction is always happening on I-15. In fact, I don't remember a time that there hasn't been construction on I-15, to be completely honest. They've always been working on it because our population just is increasing so rapidly. It's a good thing because we do need these roads to be widened and we do need bigger roads here in Utah. So it's good, but you're going to run into traffic due to this on I-15. You're going to run into traffic, especially when you're commuting on during those rush hours. Make sure and plan for traffic if you commute, because you are going to run into traffic. And a lot of that has to do with construction that they're always doing on I-15. They're always working on it. There's some great quotes that's even been made about this. They say, be like I-15, always be working on yourself. So hopefully that left you with some inspiration. And also, if you're thinking about moving to the Salt Lake City area, if you're looking to live in like the outskirt towns, so like North Salt Lake, Bountiful, Woods Cross, or maybe you're gonna go south of Salt Lake and you're wanting to look in like the Holiday area, just beware that you're likely going to run into traffic if you're commuting during those rush hour times. Usually when those rush hour times are over, there's not that much traffic. At least that's what my experience has been. So just be prepared. There is going to be traffic here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Pro number 3 is entertainment. So Salt Lake City is like the hub of entertainment in all of Utah. So Salt Lake City has everything that you can think of that you would want to do entertainment wise. So if you're wanting to go to concerts, they have a ton of concerts all the time. If you're wanting to go shopping, they have plenty of shopping everywhere. If you're wanting to go to a bar, they have really great bars everywhere. One of my favorite bars is the Green Pig. I just love their food and I love the atmosphere. I love the little deck on the top. So if you're in the area, check out the Green Pig if you never checked them out. There's just a ton of great bars and places to eat, and they're all walking distance, which makes it really nice. Same with the clubs. So if you like to party, you can have some really great dinner and then walk over to the clubs, and it's super close and really convenient. If you're looking more for there's sports, so more of that type of entertainment, you can go and you can check out a Utah Jazz game, or you can check out a Real Salt Lake game. They also have some hockey games as well here. So if you're looking for that kind of entertainment, that's great. They also have a ton of local breweries here in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is great. And a lot of the bars have the alcohol there. So if you like beer, that's another plus for you. All right, so con number 3 is gonna be state income taxes. So when you live in Utah, you have to pay a state income tax of 4.95%. So if you are thinking about moving to the Salt Lake City area, that is something you definitely want to keep in mind on the financial side of things. There's some states that you can move to, so like Florida and Texas, they don't have an income tax that they charge you. So potentially you can go move there and save money on taxes that you would get charged here if you lived in Utah. So now there are some states like California that does charge an even higher income tax rate of like 13.3%, something close to that number on the earned income of the people that live in California. Well, Utah is a little more conservative. We're at that 4.95%, but just keep that in mind because there are states that do not charge that income tax, and a lot of states that do charge it, they're going to be at different rates. So be sure that you know that the Salt Lake income tax as of now, 2021, is 4.95%. So just remember that financially, that it might be a little more expensive to live here, might be a little more expensive on the taxes side to be able to live in Salt Lake City, Utah. All right, pro number 4 is going to be that we have tons of local breweries available to you. So there are a lot of local breweries downtown that you can go and check out, which is always a great time. They always have really great food, and it's also really great that a lot of the bars have the local breweries products that you're able to go and buy also as well when you're not at that brewery. So just the ability to go check out all those breweries. If you like beer, you're gonna be in beer heaven down in Salt Lake City, Utah. All right, last but not least, con number 4 is the weird liquor laws that we have here in Salt Lake City. So for example, you can't get a drink at a restaurant or bar until 11:30 a.m. And you can't just order a drink at a restaurant. So meaning you can't just go and ask for a beer when you go and sit at the restaurant. You have to get food with that drink that you get. They won't just give you the drink that you would want, which can be frustrating sometimes because if you just wanted that drink and you don't want to spend money on the food, you're not able to do that. Also, Utah's legal limit is the lowest in the nation, so meaning the legal limit for what they consider to be drunk driving. So be careful, always be smart, always use an Uber or have somebody drive for you, of course, especially here in Utah. So just keep that in mind. The price of alcohol in Utah is regulated. That's annoying. Also, you can't bring alcohol across state lines. It's against the law. And apparently you can't join the Wine of the Month Club. Now, if that's not a con, I don't know what is. So, yeah, that's con number 4. The last but not least is the weird liquor laws that we have here in Utah. So those are some of the weird liquor laws that we have, some of the main ones. So that is definitely a con in my eyes of living in Salt Lake City. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching the 4 pros and cons of living in Salt Lake City, Utah. So if you're thinking about moving to Salt Lake City, Utah, please feel free to reach out. I have my information in the description of this video. Feel free to check that out. You can shoot me a text, give me a call, whatever's easiest for you. I'd love to help your move here to Salt Lake City, Utah as seamless as possible, whether you're looking to purchase or you're looking to rent. So also, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you come along the journey as I post new videos every single week about what it's like and everything that you need to know to move and live in Salt Lake City, Utah. So please feel free to hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it.